Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So I wanted to talk about yet again more companies who seem to be trolling women, who seem to be trolling conservatives. We have Target, who decided that swimwear with tuck-friendly features was appropriate for children. And then we have Adidas, who don't believe in tucking, using a man to model women's swimwear. So let's take a look. The retail giant Target rolled out an LGBT Pride collection that includes so-called tuck-friendly wear and rainbow-coloured onesies for infants and children, stoking conservative outrage that echoes the Bud Light fiasco. Target, about to become Bud Light 2.0, tweeted Citizens Free Press, a conservative news outlet, referring to the backlash against the nation's top-selling beer over its tie to trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney. Target's line of trans options promoted on its website ahead of next month's Pride Month sparked even more fury because it targets kids. The items include bathing suits with tuck-friendly construction and extra crotch coverage. Other offerings that raise conservative hackles include t-shirts that say Pride Adult Drag Queen Katia, Trans People Will Always Exist, and Girls, Gays, Days. I mean, this collection includes onesies. I don't understand why they think this is appropriate for children. Now, this isn't the first time Target have done this. They do have Pride clothing leading up to Pride Month. That is targeted towards children. I've seen that in the stores before. With this one, we have the swimwear with tuck features though. I've not heard of that, especially for children. So people have been going into the stores, filming what they're seeing.
Look at how ridiculous this is. Fucking Target. Pride bites. This is such bullshit. LGBTQ designed sandals for your kids to wear. Naked women on t-shirts. Naked women on t-shirts at Target. Oh, and this might be a trans naked man on a t-shirt.
Target, because I heard that their new Pride collection was out. So let's take a look. This is a special swimsuit. It is invented for tucking. Live, laugh, lesbian. Are they amoebas? These don't even look like people. Queer. This right here. These are baby clothes. They say that grooming isn't happening. Then why are there Pride baby onesies? Trans people will always exist. This is the ugliest shirt I've ever seen. I don't care if you're queer. Why would you wear this? This is ugly. Kids go into a pride parade. You got a little pride skirt for your kid. Super queer. It's like a superpower. Honestly, Target, what is going on? This is pretty disgusting. A whole collection for Pride. The tucking bathing suit, though. This is something new. I have yet to see a bathing suit that is for tucking.
Yeah, that seems to be a first, especially for children. Just ridiculous. Then we have a company who do not believe in tucking. They've decided to use a male model who is modeling women's swimwear and did not tuck. A new Adidas women's swimsuit worn by two masculine presenting models, you mean men, has touched off controversy on social media as the sports apparel maker becomes the latest brand, along with Bud Light and Nike, to take fire for gender inclusive promotions. Gender inclusive, but where are the women? Why are the women not included? They always go on about gender inclusivity, but they have no problem with women being excluded. The swimsuit is part of Adidas's Let Love Be Your Legacy collection, made by South African designer Rich Minisi to celebrate Pride Month. Adidas unveiled the collection this week, calling the partnership with Minisi a shared ambition to encourage allyship and freedom of expression without bias in all spaces of sport and culture. Minisi described his collection as a symbol of self-acceptance and LGBTQ+ advocacy. And British influencer Ollie London, who previously identified as transgender and is a spokesperson for Caitlyn Jenner's Political Action Committee Fairness First, tweeted, "Nike and Adidas are at war to see which brand can become the most woke. Both brands are now using male models to advertise women's sports bras. Who wins the woke award?" Former Olympic swimmer Sharon Davis, who opposes trans women competing in sports against biological women, called the Adidas campaign an assault on being female. Absolutely. Former NCAA women's swim star Riley Gaines, who also opposes trans athletes in women's sports, tweeted, "I don't understand why companies are voluntarily doing this to themselves. They could have at least said the suit is unisex. But they didn't, because it's about erasing women. Ever wondered why we hardly see this go the other way?" That's right. We hardly see trans men modeling men's clothing. And the thing is, they know for a fact that men would not go for that. They would be put off the brand immediately if they started using women to model their clothing, because they don't want to be represented by a woman. They would see that as the most unmasculine thing ever. But for some reason, they think women are going to be on board with this. They think male models attract women for some reason. Now, maybe some women in support of, this community are going to be all for it, cheering on their own downfall. But generally, I don't really see how a male model with a bulge is going to make women think that that swimsuit is going to look good on them. I really don't see how. And here's what Riley Gaines had to say in a recent interview.
So this is the picture of this bathing suit. It's part of a line that Adidas has by the South African designer Rich Manisi. And he says it's all about let love be your legacy. But what does this image say to you, Riley?
What the image says to me is that women don't matter, is that we're not good enough to model even our own swimsuits made specifically for women. And something I just find so ironic, a couple things, one of which being the poses that this man is striking, the angles of which they took these photos. It was strategic. It was almost as if, actually, it's certain as if they took these photos to highlight the bulge in this man's swimsuit. They do it strategically, which is really perverse. It's nasty. It's disgusting. It's abysmal. Again, two, notice how they don't have women who take the identity of a male advertising men's clothing. We're only seeing this go one way, whether that be with Tampax, whether that be with Nike, of course, Bud Light. I mean, all of these companies we're seeing highlight someone of the opposite sex.
I know. You see all this outrage over, beer ads that feature women in bikinis on the one hand, and then, this image of a man in a woman's bathing suit is supposed to be fine. So anyway, it's upside down world. Riley, thank you.
So yes, she's right. It is everything that's pertaining to women that is being targeted right now. And it is the erasure of women. It's basically saying that we don't need you. We've got men who can be put in your place in an instant. Bulge in everything. Didn't Dylan say that he wanted to normalize the bulge? Well, it says hundreds of negative reviews have been left for the swimsuit. Please stop offending biological women by having men wear women's suits, one anonymous reviewer wrote. Some conservatives are calling for a boycott of Adidas. In a statement, Adidas said it was one of the first brands to work in partnership with the LGBTQ plus community, and the Manisi collection was designed to celebrate freedom of self-expression in sports and culture. And to exclude women as well, apparently. This is reflected in a diverse line of models who bring the spirit of this collection to life, the company said. Jay Brown and the Human Rights Campaign Senior Vice President of Programs, Research and Training, said the Adidas attacks are just the latest example of an ideology obsessed with erasing LGBTQ plus people. But it's a women's swimsuit modeled by a man, so who is really being erased here? All I can say, as for the boycott, I think it's better to just focus on Bud Light for now. But these companies, when it comes to shoes and clothing from Adidas, Nike, we all know that they're not the most ethical of companies when it comes to their practices. I personally like to try and shop ethically as much as possible. That's why I like going to thrift stores. That way you're supporting your local charity as opposed to supporting these companies. So buying from thrift stores, gently used clothing. There's a lot of online platforms now like Poshmark, eBay even, where you can get gently used clothing. Also focusing on American made, Canadian made, Australian made, made in Europe. That way, you know that they haven't used sweatshops and exploited their employees. So shopping ethically can be very inexpensive, going to thrift stores, or you can splurge and you know that you're buying American made. I like New Balance when it comes to shoes because they have a American made line. Definitely the way to go when it comes to this sort of thing. And hopefully that could phase out, supporting these type of brands because they're obviously not for us, are they? So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves and God willing, I will see you in the next video.